Hello YouTube. Just wanted to make a short video here about one of my new guns I just acquired. It is a Taurus 605 357 Magnum. There's kind of a funny story that goes along with how I acquired this. About a month or so ago, a neighbor and I was talking, and we were talking guns, and he goes, "Well, what are you looking for?" And I said, "I'd like to find a 38 357 snub nose, just to have one." And he goes, "Well, I have one, but it's broke." I go, "Oh, what's wrong with it?" And he goes, "Oh, the cylinder flies open on it when you shoot it." I go, "Oh," and he said that the only way he could shoot it was to hold the cylinder release back. But you can imagine what that'd be like to try to shoot it holding that back. And anyway, that was a month or so ago, and never thought much of it. And just a couple days ago, he came out and goes, "Hey, you want to buy that old broken gun?" I go, "Well, if it's cheap enough, I'll buy it, take a chance on it." And I won't say how cheap he sold it to me. It was very cheap. So, as a matter of fact, most of you guys have probably spent more on a box of shells than what I spent on this 357 Magnum. So anyway, I went over, got it, and decided I'd take a chance on it. And I, checked it, and it's a 5-shot revolver, by the way. But when I first checked it, the cylinder was staying closed, and I clicked it a few times, and it was working. And about the 5th or 6th time, the cylinder dropped open. So I could see why he didn't care to shoot it anymore. That'd be a little bit on the dangerous side. I'm looking at it, and I don't really see anything obvious anyway. And I'm trying to remember the exact sequence I went about diagnosing this thing. But I noticed the cylinder release wasn't going back all the way. I open it up and look, and that's what engages the frame to lock up the back of it. And it engages here, where this is spring operated, to engage the front of the extractor. I don't know what's going on here. And anyway, I tipped the gun like this, and I noticed that the cylinder pin extended out past. I go, "That's not right," because if you was to close it, the cylinder pin would hit up here on the lower lug. I went, "Huh, there must be a spring or something not right." And that's when I pushed in here, and it didn't come back out. And I said, that's supposed to move in and out to lock into the frame. So I took the screw out, and I took the frame, the cylinder out, and the crane out, and looked at it, and I unscrewed this. You can tell he had played with it, because this is all the bluing's missing, which is no big deal. I can cold glue that. But anyway, I get to looking in there, and the only spring I'm seeing in there is the one for the extractor. And this center pin is, it's just kind of free floating around in there. So I go on online, and I look for a schematic on it. And I find one, and this shows a spring, a little teeny spring that goes on here for the pin there, for the cylinder pin. Well, a while back, I had bought a assortment spring kit for something I was working on. Anyway, the spring that goes on that little pin right there has to be pretty small. And I found one like this, and I knew this was way too long, so I cut it, just guesstimating, you know, and it worked a little bit, but then not like it should. So I ended up with a spring about 5/8 of an inch long, and I stuck that in there. And it seems to be working fine now. I mean, if you watch that cylinder release, when I close it shut now, it moves all the way and locks solid. So I think I've got her whipped now. I just have to take it out and try it, but I'm 99% sure that this thing is going to function okay. I mean, the gun has a little wear on it. There's, you know, a little holster wear and bluing in spots that are, you know, worn a little bit, but for being able to fix it for free, basically, I'm kind of happy with it. The only thing I don't really care for on this gun is the trigger. It has a real sharp edge on it. I think once I take it out and test fire it and make sure everything's good on it, I'm going to take that trigger out and kind of round it over a little bit. I mean, it's way sharper than it has to be, or even needs to be, but anyway, I just want to share that. I mean, that's probably the cheapest gun I've bought in my life. And, you know, I had an hour or two of fixing on it, but it was well worth it, I think. I don't even have any 357 Magnum cases around anymore, but I have a boatload of 38 specials. That's probably what I'll be shooting in it the most anyway. But just wanted to share that with you. If you come across a gun that's somebody doesn't care for anymore because they consider it broke, it's well worth your time to pick it up and put a little time into it to get it running again. This was, I don't know, I don't know, hour or two in it, playing around with it just to, you know, find out exactly what was wrong. And I'm sure I could have ordered a spring from Tars for a few bucks, but I wanted to get it going, and I had some springs here. It was just a matter of time figuring out what length the spring had to be, and well, anyway, she's working. It seems to be functioning real good. The only other thing is man, it feels like I bet you this is a 13, 14 pound double action trigger pull. I think I will, since I don't have much in it, I'm going to invest in a Wolf spring kit with a reduced power spring. I'd like to get it down to about 9 or 10 pounds anyway. But anyway, I think if I get that Wolf spring kit in it, round that trigger off a little bit, I'll be happy with it. Do a little touch-up bluing on it. So anyway, that's my story for this gun and how I acquired it. It was, you know, kind of fell into my lap more or less, but now I have a little snub-nosed 357 Magnum to play with. So, just wanted to share that with you guys. Thank you very much.